So we're going to start in a standing position. And for the first 30 seconds, all we got to do is a little bit of a step and a reach. So we're just going to get our arms moving, get the blood pumping just a little bit. But think of this as a light maneuver, right? So just step one foot out and reach. So you get a little bit of a side bend, a little bit of work in the shoulders, a little gentle work out of the hip. And then you start to tune in. How do your feet feel? How are your knees feeling? How's your energy level? Did you get enough sleep last night? That's my new question that I'm throwing into my mix. How did you sleep last night? And that might help you decide where you go energetically. All right, now we're going to take it across the chest and with a little bit of a twist. So we're still stepping that foot out, but now we're reaching across the chest. So we're getting a little bit of rotation in the spine. Nice. And again, here, we're taking it a little bit slow, just checking in. How's your back feel? How does your arms feel? How do your feet feel? How do your knees feel? 5 more seconds. And time, nicely done. Okay, we're gonna take it right into a nice big reach up and overhead, bend your knees, fold down towards the ground. And then as you come back up, nice long spine, reach through the fingertips all the way up and overhead, and then maybe let the hips come forward. Bend your knees, hinge from your waist, reach down towards the ground, and then take that nice long spine, reach up and let your hips come forward just a little bit. Nice work. And then you're just gonna take this at your pace, noticing how the backs of your legs feel. As you come up into that little gentle back bend, how do the front of your hips feel? You're already halfway there. And time, nicely done. Okay, step one foot slightly in front of the other. We're going to take it right into some hula hoops. So some nice big generous circles with the hips going in one direction. And as you find this maneuver here, you might be able to tune in to notice a little bit of how your knees are feeling here. How do your hips feel? We started to get the blood flowing a little bit. So how's your energy level? All right, take your hula hoops, keep that foot forward, but spin your hips in the other direction. Notice if there's any subtle variations, if there's anything that's more noticeable going in one direction compared to the other. All right, and then switch feet and then take your hula hoops to the other direction. Nice, and then switch directions, keep that foot forward, but circle your hips the other way. And time, nice job. Okay, grab one heavy weight if you've got it, and we're gonna take it right into some dumbbell swings. So dumbbell swings ideally work the backs of the legs and the glutes. So we're gonna step our feet so they're about hip or shoulder width distance apart, a little bit of space for us to move. Holding your weight long ways if you can. If holding it long ways is not a good grip for you, you're just gonna hold it sideways, but we wanna hold it hanging down in front, and then we're gonna start to bend the knees, swing through, and as you come up, it's a squeeze of the glutes, squeeze through the backs of the legs. So it's not a shoulder maneuver. We're not trying to lift the weight up, but we're hinging from the weights, and then snap those glutes, give a nice good squeeze and stop. So the weight is going to give you a little bit of momentum, but it's not a shoulder workout. It's a hip and glutes and and hamstrings maneuver. So once you've got it down, you're going to go as fast or as slow as feels right to you. Hinge from your waist and squeeze the glutes, hips come forward as you snap that weight up. Beautiful, you guys, nice work. Man, you guys look awesome, nice form. "20 seconds left. You got this." And time. Beautiful. Come on up. Stick with that heavy weight if you can. And now we're going to take that weight, hold it down, zip it up to the chest, push straight out from your chest, lower nice and slow, and then pull it right back up. So we zip it nice and close, push it away, and then lower it with control. If that's too much weight, switch to a lighter weight. It is a lot of work in the shoulders. Or if it's not quite enough weight, you might choose to pick up your second weight, and then you just hold both right at the chest and push out. You got it. You're already halfway there. Keep a little bit of a firmness in your belly. So most of the work is coming out of the shoulders and the lats and the chest. Belly's firm, hips are nice and stable. Nice work, you guys, beautiful. And time, awesome. Stick with that heavy weight if you can. We're gonna take it right into a goblet squat. So we're gonna load up right at the chest, step your feet slightly wide with a little bit of an external rotation in your toes. And then we're gonna sit the butt down and back, come right back up, squeeze those glutes as you come up. For our squats, most of our work is coming out of our butt and our thighs. So rather than the hamstrings doing the work, we're sitting the butt down and back, but we keep the chest and chin lifted. And then think about pushing into your feet so you can find that activation in the tops of your thighs, your quadricep muscles. Nice work. Man, you guys look amazing this morning. Happy Monday. Five seconds left. You got this. And time. Awesome work. Okay, if you like switch to a lighter set of weights, we're going to take it right into some tricep kickbacks. So those tricep muscles might not be quite as big and strong as your thigh muscles. All right, so we're going to step our feet hip or shoulder distance apart, a little micro bend in the knees, hinge yourself forward, keep your elbows hugged in at your ribs. We're kicking the weights back and bringing them back in. Nice and slow and controlled. If you're working with lighter weights, once you've got that movement down, if it feels good to do so, you're going to fire away, get a bunch of reps in. If you're working with heavier weights, slow it down, be mindful, make sure you're not locking into your elbow. So we're going to push those weights back, feel the backs of the arms fire up, and then bend and control, bring it back in. Keep a little bit of a firmness in your belly so your low back feels supported. If bent over position does not feel like it's the place for you to be this morning, you're going to come into an upright position. Same thing, kicking those weights down and back, keeping the elbows hugged into the ribs, but this might be just a little bit gentler on the low back if you're feeling a little pinchy in the low back this morning. We got 15 seconds left with whatever variation you're doing. And time, nicely done. All right, come on up. Stick with those lighter weights if you can. Now we're gonna come back to a squat, but we're gonna add a little twist and reach. So for this variation, maybe feet are about hip width distance apart. We're gonna bend down into a little squat. As you come up, you're gonna rotate, push your weights out to one side, but try to keep your knees and your hips pointing forward. So we sit down into our little squat. As we rise up, we push out to one side, bring it back to center, sink into your squat, rise up, push out to the other side. So we're alternating our side twist. In between, we take a little squat, set that butt down and back, push into your heels as you rise up so you can really feel that activation of the quadricep muscles as you come up. Nice work, you guys. And time. Beautiful work. Okay, set those weights down and off to the side. Just make sure you have a little bit of clear space to move. We're going to make a little X shape on our mat. So we're going to go long ways at a diagonal. So we're going to take it up to one corner, back to the other corner, over and across to the other corner, and then back. And so we're just going to get a little agile with our feet. So think soft in the knees, work your way forward, over and across the other way, and then backwards. And you want to just get a little bit of speed going on here. It doesn't have to be extreme, but we just want to keep light in our feet, light in our knees, move quickly across the mat. So we've got this little sideways maneuver, just letting our feet be nice and agile. And then if you're not there this morning, if you're like, that's a little too much, you're going to go slow. You're going to sidestep one way, sidestep the other way, walk a little bit backwards, but keep it at a slower pace. But if it feels okay to do so, we got 22 seconds left. Go as fast as you can. Feet are nice and active. Nice, you guys. Woo, and time. Nicely done. Okay, grab your weights again. We're going to load up, and then we're just going to take it into a single leg moving balance. So it doesn't have to look like anything. We're just going to load up at the shoulders, and then we're going to start to move the leg around. Keep it off the ground the best you can. You're going to let your body move with your leg. So no matter where your leg moves, you're just going to allow your torso, your upper body, to move with you in a way that is reasonable and allows you to find your center of gravity. So we're moving the leg around in any direction that feels good. Weights are just kind of loaded up at the shoulders, just to give you a little feedback. Notice your standing leg is working really hard. Notice that sense of control in your center as you move your leg around. You should still feel pretty stable, like you know where you're going. If you need to set your foot down at any point to reset, do it. We got 20 seconds left, but if it's feeling good, keep that leg up, move it around in any direction that feels good. And time. Nicely done. Set that leg down, shake out your standing leg, and of course, we got to do all that to the other side. So standing on one leg, load it up at the shoulders. We're going to just pick that other leg up and just start to move it around. You can kick it front, side, back. You can move it in any way that feels right. Just play around. But what we're shooting for is finding that nice transfer of weight. Where's your leg moving? How does your torso help? Strengthening your standing leg, strengthening your feet and your ankles. Tuning in and just finding your center. I find that often it's easy for me to keep and maintain a little balance if I stare at a point, focusing my gaze. You got 10 seconds left. Nice work. And time. Awesome job. Set that leg down. Give both legs a really good shake. We're going to come down into a seated position. And now we do want our theraband. So if you've got it, go ahead and grab it. And before we get to work here, just take a second to look over your theraband and just check it. Make sure there's no little nicks or tears or anything like that. And then once you feel like it's looking good, in good condition, we're going to wrap the theraband around the bottoms of the feet and then extend your feet nice and long. We're going to keep a little bit of a pull on the theraband. We're going to work through the toes and the feet. So we're just going to hold on tight, point the feet, and then create a little resistance and flex the feet. So we're holding on tight, pointing and flexing, just moving through the feet and the toes, reaching the toes out as long as you can. Offering up that little resistance to your hand hold is helping. And then you're working your grip a little bit here too, and keeping a nice upright posture so that you're not slumping into your spine. You got it. 10 seconds left. And time. Okay, we're going to keep the TheraBand around the bottoms of the feet, but now we're going to bend the knees a little bit and take this into a light bent knee roll up. So we're going to use the TheraBand for a little bit of feedback. Curl your tailbone under, roll down towards the ground. You're just going to pull your arms up towards your chest. And then as you release your arms, pull the abdominal muscles down and roll yourself back up. We got 1 minute on the clock. You're going to go as fast or slow as feels right. Curl the tailbone under, pull the TheraBand up towards your shoulders. Release, bend your knees, pull the abdominal muscles down as you roll up. You got it. Allow the TheraBand to give you a little bit of feedback. So we want to engage those abdominal muscles, pull them down towards the spine. If you find that pushing into the heels or pushing into the TheraBand helps assist so you can find that engagement, do the work there. Push into your heels, push into the TheraBand, let it help you. Nice work, you guys. Beautiful. Three seconds left. And time. All right, come on up. Now we're going to take our TheraBand and we're going to tie it around our thighs. So you're going to get it into a nice wide band position, tie it around the thickest part of your thighs best you can, and you're just going to double tie it so that it stays in place, but it's not cutting off the circulation. So we just want to get a little feedback in our work, a little resistance, but we don't want to strangle out our thighs. So tie it around in a way that feels good around the thickest part of your thighs. And then once you've got your way there, we're going to roll over onto one side. Feet are going to be about 45 degrees away from you. So think about your feet being towards the corner of your mat, elbow and forearm down, or a lower lying position. That's just going to be whatever works good for you. But we're going to take it into some side leg raises. So we're going to lift that leg up nice and high and release it. So option here, first one is that your toes and knees are pointing forward, a little flex in the foot. You're creating that light bit of resistance with the TheraBand, gives you a little feedback so you can pay attention. Maybe you'll notice the sides of your glutes or the sides of your thighs. If you like this maneuver, but you want that big range of motion, you externally rotate, point the toes, and keep that kick. Now the whole upper body is going to stay as stable as it can. So most of the work is coming out of the glutes. You're already halfway there. Nice work. Five seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, we're going to flip over onto our back. Keep your TheraBand in place if you can, but just note sometimes having those rubber bands around the thighs can just be more of a bother than anything else. So if it's bothering you too much, kick it off, do the work without. You'll still get plenty of work in, I promise you. All right, heels close to the butt, feet about hip width distance apart. With that TheraBand tied around the thighs, what we're going to tune into is keeping that even distance between the knees and the inner thighs. So engaged as you come up and engaged as you lower down. Hands are going to be into the floor. And we're just lifting the hips up nice and high, squeeze the glutes, lower with control. So we want to find that hip hinge to lower the hips back down. As you come up, if you like just paying attention to that sensation, you're going to imagine you're reaching your knees towards your toes. So you create length through the tops of the thighs and the front of the hips. But again, we want to keep and maintain that nice even distance between the inner thighs and the knees. Nice and controlled as you come up, and even better control as you come down. So it's working in both directions. 20 seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Now we're going to roll over onto the other side to take those leg raises out on the other side. I'm going to spin myself around, but you can roll over in any way that works good for you. And then think feet to the corner of the mat, so 45-degree angle. Elbow and forearm down, support the head, whatever position works good for you there. Option number one, toes and knees are pointing forward. You might find a light, smaller sense or smaller range of motion here, but you might find a lot of work coming out of the sides of the thighs and the glutes. When you want to get a little bit more range of motion, you're going to externally rotate the foot, point the toe, you'll get a bigger kick, but now you might find more of the work coming out of the hip flexor, less out of the glutes. So whatever work you want this morning. If you want a little bit more in your booty, keep the toe and knee pointing forward. If you want a little bit more in that hip flexor, turn the toe out. You got 23 seconds left. Nice work. Woo, and time. Nice job. Okay, we're flipping back over onto our back, keeping the theraband in place only if it's not bothering you. If it's being a bother, just kick it off. We're taking it right into some crunches. So knees bent, hands behind the head. We're crunching the abdominal muscles to lift the chest and chin, and then releasing back with control. If you like working with the breath, you're going to exhale as you come up and inhale to release. The main focus here is just contracting the abdominal muscles and then releasing them. And time. Beautiful job. Okay, we're going to come up to a seated position. Scoot your butt back and step your feet out so they're out towards the outer edges of your mat. We're going to alternate, lifting one foot up and then the other. So you're going to let your torso rotate just a little bit to look towards the leg that's lifting. And then you're just going to lift it up as high as you can. If you like, keep the theraband there. So it's just going to give you that little bit of feedback. You're going to feel that pushing out sensation, maintain a nice tall position with the spine. And then if you want that extra bit of work in the back side of the body, hands are going to come behind the head. You're going to push your head into your hands into your head to help you maintain that nice tall posture. But if that feels like it's a little bit much, hands on the ground to help support, and see if you can just find the work coming out of the hip flexors. So if you like paying attention there, hands to the hip creases, and as you lift one leg and then the other, you're going to feel those hip flexor muscles get nice and active as they lift that leg up. Five seconds left. Nice work. These ones are not easy, I'll admit it. And time. Woo! Bounce out your knees. Okay, if you've got your theraband still on, just kick it off your legs, toss it over to the side. We're going to flip over into a tabletop position. So come on to all fours. And then we're going to start with just a hovering table. So wrists under the shoulders, curl your toes under. Start by just picking your knees up and then releasing the knees down. This might be enough for your wrists and your shoulders. And if it is, you're going to stay here and do this work. If it feels great, but you want that little bit more, you're going to hover your table, kick one leg through, take it back, and kick through to the other side. If that feels like it's not quite challenging enough, you're going to try to touch your foot as you kick through and then take it to the other side. Nice. Now, if it feels like somewhere in between, you like that hovering table and the transfer of weight, but the kick through is not for you this morning, then you're just going to move one hand and then the other. So you transfer that weight in your tabletop position, but you're giving it a little bit of a break without the kick through. So you're going to choose the version that feels the best to you this morning. 10 seconds left, no matter which one you're doing. And time. Beautiful. Bring those knees down. Okay, now we're going to step the right foot forward, nice and wide towards the outer edge of your mat, and then walk your left knee back, but the knee is going to try and stay on the ground. But if you have a little mischievous knee and you need to cushion it or pick it up, do the thing that feels the safest and most comfortable to the knee. From here, left hand is going to stay down, right foot is forward. We're going to reach the right hand through, underneath the left, get a little twist, and then reach that hand up nice and high. And that's all you got to do. Reach it through. So think of this as mobility and stretch. Reach it up nice and high. Keep your legs as stable as you can. As you reach through, see if you can find that twisting action in the middle back. Beautiful, you guys. Nice work. Seven seconds left on this side. And time. Nicely done. Okay, step that front foot back, come into your tabletop position. Just for a second, bop your hips a little side to side, just make sure everything feels good. And then when you're ready, we're going to take it to the other side. So left foot's going to step forward nice and wide. You're going to walk that right leg back to a position that works good for the knee. And then when you're ready, right hand stays down, left hand reaches through and underneath, and then reach it up nice and high to the sky. As you reach through, can you find a little twist and work in the upper middle back, and then reach up nice and high. Beautiful, nice. You're already halfway there. And time. Nicely done. Okay, step that front foot back to your tabletop position. Bop your hips a little bit side to side, just to stretch the sides of the hips. And then when you're ready, we're going to curl both sets of toes under, lift the butt up, come into a forward fold position. So walk your hands and your feet towards each other. And then in your forward fold position, keep a little bit of a micro bend in the knees so we're not yanking against the hamstrings. Let your head hang nice and heavy here. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to standing nice and slow and controlled. Bring your left arm across the body, grab the back of the arm, drop the shoulder down, and we're going to tuck your chin down to your chest and then take 3 nice deep breaths here. Lift your chin up away from your chest, release that arm, take it to the other side, bring the arm across, drop the shoulder down, and then tuck your chin into your chest and take 3 nice big breaths. Nice. Lift your head up to neutral, release your arms. We're going to reach both arms up and overhead, and then we're just going to get a little interlace of the fingers. So we get a little bit of a handhold here. Lean over to one side. As you lean over to the side, push the hip out and away from you. Plant into your feet. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. Bring it back to center with control. Lean over to the other side. Push the hip out just a little bit. Reach through the arms. Plant into your feet. Nice. Bring it back up nice and slow. And then we're going to keep our fingers interlaced. Bring them in front of the heart. Flip the palms, press them forward, and just get a little stretch to the palms, the fingers, and into your wrist as well. One more breath. Nice. And then release your fingers, give your wrists and your fingers a nice little shake. Man, you guys are awesome. Grab your big stability ball if you're sticking around.